Brother, what? Wait, how did he not see them? Generic Controlman the Doc Goes Moo here, back with another episode of The Kill Count. Today we're doing My Bloody Valentine 3D, which I'm not sure if it's the original movie just 3Dized, or maybe it's a remake that's made in 3D. It's from 2009. I remember The Kill Count before for My Bloody Valentine. Let's go ahead and jump into this video. The next one's going to be A Quiet Place, I believe, which is a movie I've never seen. I've heard about it.
Welcome to The Kill Count,
I've never seen.
where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies.
So long.
I'm James A. Denise, and today we're looking at A Quiet Place, released in 2018 by director and co-writer John Krasinski. Krasinski took a serious liking to the screenplay written by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, mostly because
that's
he
the
had
dude from
recently
The
become
Office.
a father, and A Quiet Place is all about keeping your family alive. And how personal this movie is.
What? Okay. Brother, what? What? Let's try this one. Something went wrong. Sign into your primary... This account has like 104,000 subscribers, and you're saying it's not my primary account. That's wild. Let's see. Hopefully this works now. Bravo, YouTube. Bravo.
Welcome to The Kill Count, where we
bravo.
tally up the victims in all our favorite
Next week
horror
will be
I'm
A
James
Quiet
A. Denise,
Place.
and today we're looking at My Bloody Valentine
Oh,
3D, the
word.
2009 remake of the 1981
I've gone for a
Canadian
month and
cult
things
classic.
do not
I covered
get
the
better.
original on The Kill Count last year for Valentine's Day, so I wanted to look at the remake this year and see how it was. As expected,
Oh, so it
not
was a
great.
remake.
This movie was made during that era of remakes that dominated the horror genre a decade ago. And for whatever reason, I just don't find most of them compelling, this film included. I don't know if it's the blandly attractive cast, the over-reliance on rudimentary CGI, or the cheap digital look they often have, but My Bloody Valentine 3D and many other remakes from that time feel mostly soulless to me. This remake takes most of its story elements from the original. You've got the prodigal son, the deadly love triangle between Sarah, Tom, and Axel, Harry Warden as an accident survivor and killer, but it also adds in a bunch of stuff, including a couple of twists, a whole lot of kills, and, because it was made in 3D, a complete fucking smorgasbord of things flying at the screen. Also, if you want to give yourself a little loving on this Valentine's Day, you should sign up for Loot Fright, Loot Crate's horror-themed specialty box that delivers lots of fun stuff to your door every other month. Loot Fright was dope enough to sponsor this episode, so you could have 2 kill counts this week, which is almost as cool as some of the stuff I've gotten from their boxes. Like this. Check out this giant Bride of Chucky blanket that came in the February box. It's comfy, it's Valentine's themed, and Lucy friggin' loves it. Aw, look at her snuggle up to Chucky like that. Lucy loves Brad Dourif. So treat yourself to fun horror stuff like that by going to lootcrate.com and using the promo code DEADMEAT. That's lootcrate.com, promo code DEADMEAT.
Wasn't able to make videos for like an entire month.
Man unearths and get to the kills.
Work.
The good news is with a newspaper sequence that feels like it came from
Good news is I'm no longer the number 2 of my position.
Get the pretty complicated
Bad news is I was the only person
that I'll try to lay out for you clearly. In the town of Harmony on Valentine's Day, a mining accident left 6 miners trapped underground for 6 days.
6 miners?
The accident was caused by a mistake
for the
made by
Minecraft
Tom
YouTuber.
Hanniger, heir apparent to the Hanniger mine. The only survivor of the accident was Harry Warden, but the others weren't killed by the cave-in. It was murder. We don't exactly see these kills, and I know we're just learning about them from
I remember when
news,
3D was like such
put
a
these
thing.
5 miners on the count, just so I don't get yelled at. I will note, however, that in the original, Harry killed the other trapped miners and ate them to survive. But in this movie, they say he only killed them to save oxygen for himself. It's a tad less gruesome. So far, the backstory to this movie is more or less the same as the original, but we're about to add on to it, because all of a sudden, it's 1 year after the accident, and we see that Harry Warden has been in a coma the entire time.
He doesn't look that hairy.
Right now. After a nurse finds him missing from his hospital bed, we're ready for a murder spree that will give us a whopping 9 kills. The first victim is a dude in a bed behind Harry, presumably killed, and the rest are shown after Warden has fled and the cops have arrived at the scene. Let's see, there's the lady on the left, the half-mannequin dude on the right, 4 in this hallway on the ground, going
Nobody stopped
him. There, another in the foreground when the hallway shot glides down,
Dude,
and the last victim
normal
is this
Michael
lady
Myers.
in the hospital bed, who has her chest ripped open and her heart in a chocolate candy box. Damn! All these kills create a whole lot of work for me. And also Sheriff Burke, played by legend of the genre Tom Atkins, previously seen drunk off his ass for the entirety of the non-Michael Myers Halloween movie. I wonder if he'll manage to stay out of a bar this time through. Nope, didn't think so. Also getting drunk in this movie are all these kids partying at the Hanniger mine. Why, there's young Tom Hanniger himself, arriving with his girlfriend, Sarah. Ain't she a dame? Sarah is played by Jamie King, who would go on to star in another horror remake, 2012's Silent Night. Sarah and Tom's friends are Irene and Axel Palmer. Irene is played by Betsy Rue, who would also have ever met another horror remake as the nice girl killed in a cornfield in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And Axel is played by Kerr Smith, who was that douchey guy Carter in Final Destination. Okay, got all the horror credentials out of the way.
He's done a kill count on that.
Now we can get back to watching 30-year-olds play teenagers. Tommy can't bring himself to enter the mine, since it was where he made the mistake that caused the Harry Warden cave-in a year ago. So Sarah goes inside by herself and finds herself alone in the tunnels, until she runs into this dude named Jason who scares her.
Well, you think I was
Jason with a mask on?
Something? Hey, Michael, check this out.
Yeah, Michael, check out this crappy-looking 3D eyeball. I know, Michael, the original had amazing practical effects, but this is cheaper. Think of the bottom line, Michael. With that inadvertently humorous kill, Harry Warden continues his killing spree with some serious murderous minor man momentum. Sarah runs away from Mr. Warden, and as she does, she passes 3 corpses on the ground.
Nice.
Bloody teenagers who just wanted to cop a feel in a mine shaft. Is that so much to ask for? Axel grabs Sarah and pulls her behind a wall where he's hiding with Irene, and together they all stay quiet as Harry Warden walks past them. But then that Michael guy shows up, and for some reason, even though he ends up standing right next to the main characters, Harry Warden chases Michael down and acts like he doesn't even see the rest.
Wait, how did he not see them?
A triple kill just to stick a pickaxe through a red shirt's face. Get your damn priorities in order, Harry. Everyone runs away, there's a short little scuffle, and then a random chick runs out of nowhere to add herself to the kill count. The internet tells me that her name is Brandy, and unfortunately, it looks like someone decided to make Brandy's kill mostly digital, which is a real shame because this movie's makeup artist, Gary J. Tunnicliffe, had designed a very cool practical half head to be used for this kill. I don't know why they didn't use it. It looks a whole lot better than this. Ugh. Tom runs into the mine, and as he joins the others in their escape, Harry Warden manages to get him to the ground. Considering Tom a lost cause, Axel forces Sarah into a pickup truck with Irene so the 3 of them can escape. Harry Warden throws a crappy 3D pickaxe at them. Jeez, nice reflexes.
Also, what windshield is stopping a pickaxe?
Leaving Harry Warden staring after them, and Tom in some pretty big doo-doo. Harry Warden nearly kills Tom before getting shot through the back by Sheriff Burke, who has just arrived alongside his geriatric deputy.
Stay down, Harry!
Yeah, down, Harry. Bad Harry. They shoot at him a few more times, but Harry runs out of the mine in a manner similar to how Axel did at the end of the original, just with less maniacal laughter involved.
I bet if they used a 45, he wouldn't be walking away.
Tom is left with a face full of blood and his eyes darting all over the place before we jump ahead to the same town of Harmony 10 years later, where a news report is recounting the backstory we just watched.
Taking the lives of 22 men, women, and children.
Wait, 22? I only counted 15, and I do this for a living. I think I'm gonna stick with my number here. I bet that news reporter is sensationalizing that shit. Axel Palmer now has facial hair
referring to the mining
and at some point during the past 10 years, he and Sarah got married and had a kid together. But their holy matrimony doesn't stop Sarah's employee Megan from making eyes at Sheriff Axel. Oh, wait, did I say making eyes at? I meant making fuck with in a cabin in the woods. And yes, I did say making fuck. Megan is so into Axel that she's getting him Valentine's cards and making weird requests.
Maybe one day you'll tell your wife.
Yeah, that's not how affairs usually work, lady. Yeah. But as it turns out, this is no longer your usual affair.
I'm pregnant.
Oh, Sheriff, you were giving her Valentine's candy unwrapped like that? Old man Hanniger has recently passed away, meaning his namesake mine has just passed into control of his son Tom Hanniger, who doesn't exactly have the fondest of memories at this place. He goes and visits his dad's business partner, a guy named Ben, and holy shit, that guy's Kevin Teague, Locke's dad from Lost. Oh shit, Tom, you lucky Ben ain't your dad, or else you'd be flying out that window right now. Ben would happily defenestrate Tom because Tom is looking to sell the mine and put everyone in town out of business. Because, wait, yeah, why are you doing that, Tom?
Why would they put everybody
Mines have been outdated since I was a kid.
Oh,
why would they put everybody out of business? Wouldn't they just
Mine 2.0, dude? It's a small patch. But in all seriousness, I'm not entirely sure why he's selling the mine other than just for plot purposes. Tom goes to the Thunderbird Motel and rents a room.
Own it and not have any part of it?
There's an egregious sex scene going on between Irene and a truck driver named Frank. This is one of the more unnecessary sex scenes I've seen recently, and surprise, surprise, the dude in the scene is the writer of this this movie. Yeah, that stone-cold looking mother trucker right there, Todd Farmer, who
Didn't
had previously
Tarantino
written
do something
and cameoed in Jason X, wrote himself into an extended sex scene with Betsy Rue.
If something has to be censored, it's because the video is
an even extended
age restricted,
where Betsy Rue is butt-ass naked the whole time, angry at Frank and threatening him with a gun because she found him secretly filming their motel tryst. When he tries to leave, he gets a pickaxe in the top of
maybe a
his
little
head,
bit of an
but he doesn't fall
understandable
down until
crash
the killer
out.
takes
Not
the axe out
justified,
and
but
gives us a 3D splurt of blood. His camera falls to the ground and records Irene as she runs away. And listen, this chick is naked for more than 5 whole minutes of straight screen time, so I'm just gonna skip to where she hides under a bed so I don't have to censor
Oh, she's doing
that.
such a good
From
job.
underneath the bed, she watches as
Pickaxe
motel
through the bed.
manager Celine comes in looking for her dog, but instead of finding her pooch, she just finds the miner man, who uppercuts her through the jaw with his pickaxe right up into the ceiling and causes a nice explosion to happen and sparks
Why
to
would
rain
that
down.
happen,
Irene's
though?
whimpers give away her hiding spot, and after she ends up trapped against the wall behind this wire bed frame,
Oh,
she's
no.
killed by a pickaxe swing that goes straight into her gut and
I was
splatters
about to go through
blood
the bed.
all over the wall. Sheriff Axel and his deputy Martin check out the crime scene
I
and
mean,
find
you know it's
Tom's
gonna be
name in the
Dean
guest
Winchester.
book. They also find a video camera with more footage of Betsy Rue naked. Oh, and I guess more importantly, a dude in a mining outfit. Between the mining gear-clad figure and the heart that Axel finds in a candy box, it looks like either Harry Warden is back or they're dealing with a copycat killer. At the grocery store that Sarah manages, she gets a visit from Tom. It's the first time she's seen him in 10
Hasn't
years,
aged
ever
at
since
all.
he left Harmony without telling anyone where he was going. Sarah's a melty mess after seeing her ex-boyfriend again, but the visit ends after Tom sees that she's married Axel and has a family with him now. But apparently, not even having a tow-headed son and a housekeeper with Axel is enough to make Sarah completely forget about her time with Tom. Aw, wardrobe did such a good job dressing us young in this picture. We almost look like teenagers. Tom heads to the town watering hole, where everybody knows Tom Atkins' name, and there he gets decked by the ex-deputy, who's angry about how he's closing the mine. It turns into a multi-man scuffle.
You're a deputy? You don't work at the mine?
Throwing 3D punches around. And it only ends after ex-Sheriff Burke almost gives himself an aneurysm.
Everybody stand down, God damn it!
Whoa there, Berkey, watch the ticker. Everyone in town is mad at Tom, not only because he's about to pull a Bain Capital and put them all out of work, but also because they blame him for Harry Warden's massacre, since it was his mistake in the mine that kinda kicked the whole thing off in the first place.
Harry Warden.
What was his mistake that happened?
Not me.
He's got a
That is
point,
true.
Burke. He wasn't the one running around dressed up like a crazy pyro. Still, Sheriff Axel is suspicious
Crazy
of him.
pyro? A
Not
TF2
only because
reference?
he knows his wife still
Yo,
has feelings for him,
James.
but also because it looks like Tom was poorly comped into that tape they found at the motel. The next
Why was the
day,
window
Tom
open?
visits Sarah again, and she yells at him for wanting to close the mine, which, like, we still haven't heard a great reason for yet, Tom. What, you said it was outdated? That's a real dumb character motivation. Make this character interesting, please! He can't just coast on being played by the dude from Supernatural. Which, by the way, the younger Winchester got to be in the much better horror remake of 2009. Tom heads to the mine with his name on it so he can talk to Ben. But since Ben is underground right now, he's got to have that red dude who tried to punch him the night before take him down on the cart to find him. While waiting for Ben to show up, Tom wanders over to a control panel cage and has flashbacks of his fuck up with Harry Warden. Next thing you know, the mining man shows up and knocks Tom into the cell. Tom gets
it could be anybody
style, with no chance for parole. So all he can do is watch as the mining man approaches Red. Or I guess he could also call out to Red, but he doesn't do that. And so Red gets attacked by mining man, who puts a
people that work in
pickaxe
mines,
through his
they
arm.
don't really
After they have a little fight,
wear
the killer
those kind of
reverses a
masks and
downward
stuff, do
pickaxe
they?
swing right
I
back
guess it
into
depends on
Red's
the
forehead,
mine.
probably killing him right then and there. But mining man
actually hit the
show
frontal
off to
lobe.
Tom. And not just with a couple
You
of
don't need
vertigo
that.
zooms. So he stabs Red in the torso with his pickaxe.
That'll
a
do
whole
it.
hell of a lot more times for good measure. Yeah, that's how we do in the respirator world. As Tom tries to break free, Mining Man disappears, so he's long gone by the time the rest of the crew finds Red's body. They free Tom from the cage and he heads to the hospital, where he talks to Ben and Sarah. Oh, and Axel too, I guess. Sure.
Oh.
He tells them all that
Why-
Harry
why did he
Warden
just
must
pop
have
out
been
like
the
that?
killer, but Axel says that's not true. That's impossible! He claims that their two dads and wily old Ben here murdered Harry Warden in an act of vigilante justice and buried his body out in the woods. Everyone heads to the burial spot along with ex-Sheriff
they actually
Burke,
found
who
a
helped cover
body?
up the murder so they can find Harry Warden's body and put an end to this rumor once and for all. Now, where would that body be?
Once we find the old escape hatch, it's just beyond there.
Oh shit, it's by the hatch? But Ben, what if Desmond's down there? He might give your son a purpose in life. They find the burial site, but it's dug up and empty, leading Axel to question the old timers
it wasn't
about
deep
whether
enough,
or not
obviously.
they really did kill Harry Warden.
I shot him.
I shot the son of a bitch dead.
Any of y'all about to question Tom Atkins? Nah, I didn't think so. As with any good whodunit, or in this case, any whodunit, aspersions are cast all around as to who the killer could be. Ben's a suspect, Burke's a suspect.
Everybody's a suspect!
Tom wants some answers, so he heads to the mine to look for clues. A light in the woods nearby leads him to the dilapidated cabin where Axel and Megan have been having their fertilitous affair. And
that's
inside
where it was
the cabin,
happening.
We finally learn Harry Warden's true identity. He's a bunch of rats in a mining outfit, just like that stinky bastard Sammy from Wayside. Just kidding, Harry ain't rats. And it turns out he ain't Ben either, because that night, Ben gets attacked in his home by the mining gear-clad killer. The mining man grabs Ben by the head and kills him with a 3D pickaxe right after Ben tells us what this movie is.
Oh god.
Shit. Squishy zoom squirt. And that's how you impale a head. His body is found near that hatch in the woods, so Axel surmises that the killer must be one of the people who was just there with them.
How else
Meaning,
did they know
if
it was
not
there?
his wife Sarah, then either Tom Hanniger or ex-Sheriff Burke. Speaking of Sarah, she's currently at the grocery store with her employee who's been bagging her husband. Paper, I guess, since apparently they weren't using plastic. The two of them hear some noises, and then the lights go out, so you know our killer's not far behind, ready to do his menacing mining man shit.
Tall.
What follows is a standard horror chase scene, but at least it gives Megan
What did you trip over? There's nothing there.
Mop to the mug of the miner man. The ladies end up in the grocery store's office, barricading the door against the pissed off pickaxer. Megan is just about through the window when they realize there's no one knocking at the door.
And he's out the window now.
Turns out the mining man ran out around back and is now pulling Megan clean out the building. Bye.
That's not good.
Sarah sounds an alarm and runs out the front door.
Why did you sound the alarm
into
before?
arms of her husband Axel, who's here all of a sudden.
How?
Together they go around back to the alley.
There's
and
no
find some
way.
blood graffiti over Megan's mangled corpse sitting up against the wall. Her heart removed and put in a candy box. For
Also,
this
doesn't
kill,
that work for him?
Find a dummy for Megan's upper half.
Doesn't that benefit
and act as
Axel?
Megan Boone's actual legs for her lower half to make it look more realistic. Great work. The graffiti on the wall says "Be mine forever," which is what Megan had written in her Valentine to Axel. And on that note, before Sarah goes to the hospital, she tells Axel that she knows all about his affair.
I'm not blind, Axel.
Back at their soon-to-be broken home, Sarah and Axel's son Noah watches cartoons.
Hurricane update. Is there a hurricane coming?
Rosa fails to notice the mining
Dude, I have been
walk
so
right into the house. Rosa gets punished for that
removed from
oversight when the killer
everything.
approaches and murders her with a video wipe.
Like,
oh no! Someone
there might
told
be a
George Lucas
war
that
that
those
started.
things are dangerous. Her body is later found in the dryer.
Why
in
would
an
it
homage to
steam?
a kill from the original. There's a cop outside the Palmer home who also didn't see the mining man enter, so good thing Burke shows up out of nowhere to tell her the killer's inside.
Why are you pointing the
She
gun
heads
at
inside
her?
to look for him, but only finds Noah creepy crawling around the couch. Burke, meanwhile,
Kinda
goes around
terrifying.
the side of the house and gets himself killed by a pickaxe uppercut that goes through his jaw and stays there for quite some time.
I mean,
in
that
my
wouldn't kill
favorite
you.
effect of the movie. Get this, they had a figure of Burke with a tearaway jaw that was affixed with magnets, as well as a separate pickaxe prop that Tom Atkins could have coming out of his mouth. It's all combined to great effect when the killer pries out the pickaxe and sends Berkey bits flying at the camera.
that
Damn,
would be
I guess
bad.
that means no more Tom Atkins though. Tom calls Sarah at the hospital and then picks her up to tell her that he no longer thinks it's actually Harry Warden killing people. Now he thinks it's her husband Axel. Then
I mean,
Axel
it's
calls
entirely
Sarah,
possible,
looking
but
little
is
Miss
it that
Popular
obvious?
over here, and tells her what they've just learned about Tom.
Tom has been at a mental institute for the past 7 years. He is not the guy you grew up with.
When Tom refuses to take Sarah home, she takes matters and the steering wheel
Tom
into
was
her own hands and
locked
drives
in
his
the
car
cage
off the
while
road,
the other
crashing it head-on
dude killed
into
somebody
a
right in
3D
front of him,
tree
so it
branch.
can't be
She
him.
runs away from the accident and into the woods until she winds up at the Love Shack, a little old place where you can get your side piece pregnant. Sarah finds the Valentine that Megan gave to Axel,
It
as
says
well
be
as
mine
that
forever.
picture of her and Tom together. She remembers how pissed Axel was when he found that picture, so by the time the mining man shows up at the cabin, she thinks it's her husband. She gets away from him through a window, and then
Well,
it's back to
what if
running
it's
through
both
the
of them,
woods.
actually?
Right.
What
Did you
if
know
one-
that one of the final few options I had for this channel's name was Running Through the Woods? Glad I went with Dead Meat. She winds up at the Hanniger mine and goes to the locker room.
I think
where
it's
this movie
probably
randomly
both
recreates
of
another
them?
scene from the original, with
Are
all
they
the
working
mining gear
together?
outfits falling from the ceiling and freaking her out until the actual killer shows up. He chases her deeper into the mine shafts, and I will say I can appreciate that they actually filmed this in a closed mine. It lends a scotch of legitimacy to this thing.
Kinda cool.
After hiding around a corner for a while, Sarah jumps out in an attack that ends up knocking the gun out of Axel's hand. Seems like Axel might be our killer after all. But then Tom shows up, and it's like Sydney pointing a gun at Stu and Randy
Who is
all
it?
over again.
But
the dude's yelling
Wait, what
at
was that
each
movie
other
that we
and
saw?
Also at Sarah, each telling her
where they were both in on it or something.
Until all of a sudden,
was it the
Tom
first
sees the mining
Scream
man
movie?
appear behind Sarah. And here is the one interesting thing that this movie does.
It's Harry, Sarah, you gotta shoot him. It's Harry.
There he is, he's right there. Shoot.
Wait, what?
He's right there.
Wait.
Nobody else here!
Yeah, you heard that right. Sarah and Axel don't see Harry Warden because he's not actually there. It's a pretty decent reveal, especially for those of us who know the original and the killer's identity in that one. But I could definitely go without the cheap dissolve when Harry disappears in front of Tom.
So he killed Red, but in his mind, Harry killed him.
Montage showing us that Tom has been the killer this whole time? Perfect. Just what I wanted. Yep, Tom dug up Harry's equipment.
But how did he lock himself in that cage?
While he killed people. And as for Red's kill, where he was stuck in the cage while it happened, well, I guess he did that shit afterward. Oh, also, I guess this means that Harry Warden was confirmed killed by Burke and Ben and those guys. So sure, I'll throw him on the count too, even though we didn't see it happen.
They buried it in the mask.
The rules just aren't that important, y'all. What is important is that Tom was crazy this whole time and that Harry Warden is dead, right?
No. He's here. Aren't you, Harry? You living inside, Tom?
Huh?
Oh, I'm right here.
Wait, what? Did this just become a possession movie? They actually just breeze right past that idea and get into a beat-em-up battle between the boys. It pans out
why
exactly
would you turn
like
this
you'd
into a
expect
melee
it to.
battle with
Neither
a
of them
pickaxe when
die,
there's
just
already a gun?
non-fatal hit that Tom delivers into Axel's side before he's all like, run away! He comes back shortly to steal more cool stuff from the original, but Sarah tells him to knock that shit off and ends his pickaxe temper tantrum by shooting a bullet in 3D.
Oh, God.
Hey, we watch go
That's not how the recoil works.
And hit a gas tank behind him. Tom goes boom, a bunch of shit flies at the camera.
Oh, they would all
I
be
guess
dead.
that's what counts as a climax these days. The rescue team
every
descends
person in
into
that
the mine
mine
one
would
dude
be
finds
dead.
Tom buried but still alive. He tries to get help for the pickaxe killer, but instead just gets first person killed by Tom swinging a 3D pickaxe into his head. Wow, it's almost like Tom killed the audience with that strike. If only, right? Sarah and Axel are rescued and say I love you to each other, so I guess that means their marriage is okay now. Good, I was very, very concerned about that. The movie ends
Well,
with
I mean,
one injured
you
looking
removed
rescue worker
the side
stepping
piece.
right on up to the camera and removing his mask to reveal that he's Tom. Hey, I know Jensen's
Why would
face
you
is
take
here to
this
sell
off here?
tickets, but shouldn't Tom probably keep the mask on until he's a little further out from the crime scene? God, and he breaks the fourth wall too? Gross. The original My Bloody Valentine had a respectable 16 kills. Did this remake outdo it in the pickaxe department?
More than
Let's find
double.
out at the numbers. But first, let's see what these hearts say. Let's see what the hearts are saying to us. It says cutie. That's me. I'm a cutie. That's the heart told me. I'm not saying it about myself. The heart told me. All right?
I mean,
I'm just relaying what the heart said.
Can't argue with that.
It's up to you if you believe it or not. I believe it.
Valid. Can't argue with
I
that.
counted 30 kills in My Bloody Valentine
wasn't quite
3D, although my count is at odds with that in-universe news report. Oh well, of the victims I covered, 18 were male, 10 were female, and 2 were unknown, giving us a classic tripart pie chart. And with a runtime of 101 minutes, we had a kill on average every 3.37 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to
337
Sheriff
actually
Burke.
sounds like
I
an
love the
ammo.
practical effects used for it, and even when it does get digital, hey, it's a jaw flying at the screen. That's fine. And I'll actually give the dull machete for lamest kill to that chick Brandy. Sure, it's a good kill in concept, but that digital execution just
so
looks
bad. Why would the
and
eyes
that's
shut though?
My
By
Bloody
the way,
Valentine 3D came out in 2009, and this kill count for it is my Valentine's Day gift to you. And if
Aw,
you're feeling
thank you.
lonely on this day, just remember that you don't need somebody else to love in order to love yourself. Thanks again to Loot Fight for sponsoring this episode.
We're done.
And because of that,
We're
you'll
way
have another
past that.
episode
That's
tomorrow.
I don't like
Until
that
then,
guy.
I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this Valentine's Day Kill Count. I want to thank some patrons like Tamsin
Shout out to my
Wild,
patrons, and
Rainstorm,
shout out to people
David
for being
Priest,
patient
and
with me.
Gretchen
Like,
Kirchner. And of course, I want to thank Loot Fright once again
it
for
was
sponsoring an episode.
wild.
And just
I
thanks to
hated
everyone
not
who
making
watches
videos.
these episodes with ads and doesn't complain about them.
I premium,
YouTube
so.
revenue is a fickle thing, so it helps to have sponsors
So I had
like
to get
Loot
an actual
Fright to help
job.
support me. Thanks everyone, be good people.
I had to get an actual job, and that took away from being able to make videos for a month because I had to get promoted because the number one in my position quit. Or yeah, he quit, and then I had to fill in, and then I had a trip that's been planned to my family for like 8 months now that my family's been trying to do for like 15 years, so there's no way I was missing that. So I literally worked every day until then, and then got back from that. It was like a 6-hour drive home, and then immediately went to work and worked 13 hours that day after a 6-hour drive. I was awake for 24 hours straight, and then had to be back at work like 6 hours later to work another like 12-hour shift, and then to come back the next day. But I can pay my mortgage. And that's the important thing. But this was my Bloody Valentine 3D. I like that it had Dean Winchester in it. That was really cool. The effects were, you know, very, very for the time. Because, like, a lot of movies back then when, like, the 3D craze was going on, like, every movie was like that. And they did the same things just to insinuate the 3D. Kind of like when 3D TVs became a thing and plasma screen TVs and all those like random trends that happen and then they'd like completely die off. Like, are there any movies made in 3D nowadays? Like, I think some movies they make a 3D version of, but not every like theater does it or something. I'm not really sure. I know IMAX has like special like cuts of film. I'm not sure if it's cuts, but different like films that they use, or maybe IMAX is literally just a sound thing. I don't really know, but I look forward to next kill count because it's going to be a quiet place. Hopefully we don't have any more hiccups when it comes to watching that video, but that video should hopefully be out next week. Patrons get all the videos a day early. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, but until next video, take care and keep the music.